Hey peeps, I'm gonna do some benchmarks. What's that you say?
Stop.
Sitting on a bench and making some charts and then leaving marks. Those are benchmarks. Well, if you chart while sitting on a bench, it makes a benchmark. Am I right?
True.
Anyways, no. A benchmark is a thing for testing, and you write down numbers. Hey peeps, future/editing me here. Just to give you a bit more context, these are benchmarks for upgrading my computer. First wave of benchmarks is my computer with the old hardware inside. The second set is with the new motherboard and CPU using the air cooler that came with that CPU. And the third set is with the water cooler that Charlie and I installed. And the first one is Cinebench. And I've actually already run it twice, because on YouTube videos they say run it 3 times in a row to get a really good count. And you can see right there, focus! That's the CPU. I got an AMD FX 8350, and then they advertise it as an 8-core processor, but it's really 4 cores, and each one of them can do 2 threads at a time. And then there's my GPU that you saw in a previous video. And this one is a really high def picture that your computer has to draw, and to see how long it takes, and then you get a score. So I'm gonna go up here and hit run. Boop. And it says performing render test. Preparing subject. Rendering pass 1. And what if you pay attention and watch, what it's doing is drawing 8 squares at once, because I have 8 threads on the CPU. And the CPU that I bought is 6 cores and 12 threads.
By the way, what the weird background noise is I'm playing Minecraft right now. Planting things.
You're planting stuff?
Like nether trees.
I swear, the nether realm, or whatever it is on this game, the animals make sounds. It sounds like the developer of this level just left a microphone on in his baby's crib for a few hours, and then he just took a few, like, snips out of that and made that the monster's noises.
I'm gonna spawn one of those weird things.
It's like a floating ghost squid. Doesn't that sound like a weird baby noise or something?
And also
that was a mad baby noise.
And also a baby noise that can speak English. Oh god. Oh god.
Check this out. When you're running this, your CPU is just totally pegged. If you open up Task Manager, I already have it open. CPU use, 100%. That's all of the percents! You can't have any more percents!
112%.
It's so creepy, it's like overlapping baby goo goo gaga sounds. I got a 12, wait, is it done? Yeah, it's done. It's finished. That's a 1242. On to the next test. People on YouTube use Handbrake to benchmark their PCs, but by seeing how long it takes to convert a file. So I'm just bringing in this old file from me starting to test my graphics cards. See, I'm not even talking yet. And there's a sync.
Testing.
Blah, blah, blah.
1, 2.
And I'm talking about the graphics card.
But that's a GTX 960.
Oh, Charlie's in that movie.
Charlie's playing.
We'll just ignore that. Anyways, I already dragged it in here, and it's going to convert it, and I'm going to hit start encode. Start encode.
And we're gonna have yawn faces.
Oh, I'll fall asleep while it takes forever to encode. Shouldn't be too bad. I'm just converting a 1080p video back into 1080p video again. It's going up 92%, 93%. Pretty soon we'll have all the percents.
Man.
Cue finished. Okay, so I have that recorded. So I'm going to put down 148. What's the next test?
Random.
The SSD benchmark. All right, the program that we're going to run to test the SSD is called Crystal Disk Mark. And like the Cinebench thing, this is one that you run 3 times. So I'm going to cut until after the 3rd run. So I just did it twice. I'm going to do it a 3rd time. I'm going to start it here.
Okay, human.
Okay, human. What this is doing is testing how fast a computer can read and write to a device. You know, I haven't benchmarked 4 terabyte hard drives yet.
Huh?
That would be for a different video, though. Charlie's like, huh? Remember when I put 2 hard drives in here?
Oh, yeah.
I never benchmarked them. He just like, tear face, Dad. Tear face. And it's done. So I'm going to go ahead and make a screenshot of this. Now we want dropping files into Vegas. First test we need is how long does it take to open Movie Studio. You hear the sound of the mouse button. That's when it starts. Okay, so it's open now. Now the next test is drop a file into the Movie Studio. Let's go to blue light blocking glasses, delete that SFK thing.
Because you already made the video.
Because I already made the video.
Obviously.
So there we go. That's a good test, because look at the progress bar going by.
Sonic. Speed.
Good. Blue light blocking glasses. Well, so this final test is to see how long this will take to render this really short video file into my YouTube template. Render. This is another good one because it's got an elapsed time on it. Oh, I made hot wings as an experiment. And there's leftovers. You want those for supper? And if you like them, maybe tomorrow or Sunday we can make some more. Oh, that's a renderingception. It's a rendering video showing a rendering video while I'm rendering this video. I'm a time traveler. Maybe I can go back in time and give myself this file and render that, and then break the universe by rendering a video onto itself. There's my mining machine that I yanked a graphics card out of before I bought the 1660 Super. It's almost done. It's almost done. 27? 28. 528. I saw it. I saw it. Now we're gonna eat, watch Red Dwarf, and then either tonight or tomorrow we're gonna shoot a movie about us tearing this computer apart and then putting it back together with all new fandangled parts. Alright, I've already ran Cinebench twice on the new Ryzen 3600, and I'm using a stock Wraith cooler that came with it. We're going to be doing these benchmarks on the Wraith cooler, and then we're going to throw in the water cooler and do benchmarks on that. And Charlie's playing Minecraft again, but some different weird sounds going on. Are those villager noises combined with weird octopus baby noises?
Yes, these are villager noises.
No,
they're
but it overlapped. So I'm going to hit run here. I've already done it twice. And you can see this time, you should see 12 boxes being drawn at the same time because this CPU has 6 cores and 12 threads.
I'm gonna drown in lava. I forgot you can't drown in lava. So you're gonna get shot in the nuts.
What is happening over there? Crazy things.
And also I'm exploding their home.
You're exploding villager homes?
No, illager homes.
Oh, so an evil villager is called an illager?
Yes. And also there's a vindicator and stuff.
A vindicator's a real word. I've never heard of illager.
Baby noises.
So we got 3151. Alright peeps, 3151. And there's a ranking. If I get my YouTube channel monetized, I'm thinking of getting this CPU actually. 16 core, 32 thread, Ryzen Threadripper, 1950X. Now we have to move on the Handbrake, and I could switch to OBS for that. Go ahead and shut down Cinebench and open up Handbrake. What is going on over there?
Oh, my knee!
This is the file we converted in the previous test. I'm going to convert the same file after 1, being first test for the Wraith cooler. Starting code. Ping ping. What a game. You kill monsters and they go har har har, and then you steal what's in their chest and they give it a ping ping sounds.
There's just less villager noises in here right now. And I killed the villager noises.
46 seconds. 46 seconds.
Sweet.
The first time I did a rendered test with Handbrake for the same file was 1 minute and 48. We've shaved off 1 minute and 2 seconds, but just getting a new CPU. Now we're going to do crystal disk info. Crystal disk mark, actually. And this is the same SSD as the last test because I haven't migrated my operating system to the NVMe.SSD yet. Alright peeps, I just ran crystal disk mark twice and I'm about to run it a third time. I'm going to go ahead and hit start on it. And these are the numbers from when I ran it on the system with the old CPU. So I'm curious if it's the read and write to the SSD is going to be any faster with a faster CPU. Because it's still a SATA Generation 3 plus. But the chipset also might make it faster.
ASMR. Bubbly sip.
No, God, please, no.
Oh, this is done.
Anyway.
Look at these numbers. 549 over the previous of 417. And the 4Ks are nuts. I don't even know what 4K writes are. Sequential writes? If you guys know what all these different kinds of rewrites are and what they mean, comment below.
And I will murder the chickens.
And he will murder the chickens. What? Because I haven't geeked out on what all these numbers mean yet. And the next test is, how long does it take to open Movie Studio? From the click is a start.
Oh, it's tree creepers. I'll give you more tree creepers, boy.
Alright, so we're going to measure that. What's the next text? Drop a file into Movie Studio. Drop, like so. Alright, that test is done. We'll be comparing those numbers later. Hey, show the peeps. Oh, you're just spawning them so they make all their goofy noises?
Yep.
You're funny. While I'm trying to shoot my professional videos.
Just tap the screen and they should spawn. Or tap like a tree.
Now go kill a bunch and make stupid noises. Alright, we're going to do this test rendering, my YouTube template. And it's important to note that rendering, like you see over here with this bar going on, uses a lot of system resources. And I can go over here to monitor in the MSI Dragon Center and see right now it's about half of the CPU is being utilized and the temperature is up here. The CPU fan is running at 100%. And this is the 3.9 gigahertz that the CPU is running at. I don't know what that was, I wasn't looking. I'll look at the footage during editing and I'll get the number. Alright, for round 3, I've got the AIO water cooler in my computer right now, up in there, with RGB fans on it. And what kind of ridiculous noises are coming from your Minecrafts today?
Llamas.
Llamas?
Yep.
Ugh. I just ran Cinebench twice and I'm about to run it a third time. See if I get a better score. Hit run. Ah, beautiful. 12 things. 12 going in at once. Well, it's almost done. What do we get? 3353. That is a significant performance increase. What the frick is that squirt sound? Again, in this test, I'm going to drop a file into Handbrake. What the heck sort of noise is that? Sounds like me making fake golf sounds. I'm like... 41, 42, 43, 44. That was 44 seconds, and the one with the stock cooler was 46. So I bet you if you're doing a whole queue of Handbrake jobs, it'll be faster. I wonder if Crystal Disk Info is going to be any faster. Alright, I just ran Crystal Disk Mark twice, and I'm going to run it a third time. And here's the results from before I put in the water cooler, and this is the results from the second run. So far, it's looking like they're going to be about the same. However, I was keeping an eye on the CPU frequency in it, and it did clock higher. I hear wet splat sounds and baby gooing sounds. Being a father, those sounds combined concerns me. They make me think that there's a toddler going around somewhere, plopping its diaper on things. Oh, it's done. It's about the same. This one's a little bit more, that one's a little bit less. Whatever. Next test. Now I'm curious if Movie Studio is going to take less time to open or not. From the click to the open. Here we go. Cats and villagers, apparently. And the next test is to drop a file in there and see how long it takes to parse that out. Let's bring this over so you guys can see I'm doing the same file. Boop. And we're going to watch this progress bar and see how long that takes. Okay. And then we're going to use Vegas to render for the last test. This is too many crazy sounds going on at the same time. Test after 2 because it's with the water cooler in there. I hear babies screaming, villagers going, I know there's other stuff going on, but I can't discern. Drop a bunch of llamas on it. Just a whole bunch. There they go. Those villagers don't like the llamas being dropped on them. What do I do with all these llamas? 97, 98, 99, 100. 2 minutes, 35 seconds. All right, we're done with benchmarks for now. The first test done on each series was Cinebench R20 CPU rendering test. And we saw a huge jump from 1242 to 3151 when upgrading to the Ryzen 5 3600. And then I got another increase from 3151 to 3353 when using the water cooler. That's pretty sweet. The next slide, we've got Handbrake, and it only went down by 2 seconds from going from the air cooler to the water cooler. But 1:48 down to 46 seconds, that's a huge improvement. That's going to save me a lot of time if I need to render something or convert a format. I can actually convert that while working on something else because I have so many threads running on the CPU. This next slide, I'm showing all the 3 different tests at once. The red being the Ryzen 5 3600 plus a water cooler, and the purple being the Ryzen with the air cooler, and the blue being my old CPU. I'm seeing that the red got slightly lower scores in these read and writes to the SSD, and it may be because I had the computer on longer, I had more stuff open in Chrome and Brave tabs. I don't know, but basically it looks around the same to me. However, it is very eye-opening to see the huge improvement changing from one platform to another when the actual SATA generation and the SSD stayed the same. And I'm thinking that has to do with both the CPU and the chipset, when the chipset does the communication between SATA bus and the CPU. And the next slide, we have opening Vegas. Again, you can see a huge improvement, taking a whole lot less time when going to the new CPU, and a couple more seconds when using a water cooler. Again, all these tests were done in the same day, and I think they're taking slightly longer because of some other thing going on my system at that time, but it was basically around the same. Dragging a file into Vegas. Now this was interesting because how I experienced stuff taking longer going from the air cooler to the water cooler. So I've got to be careful. If I really, really want to save time, I got to make sure to close other tabs and close other windows and things that I'm not using. Rendering a project with Vegas was the same. There's a huge improvement going from the old CPU to the new CPU. I've actually experienced this improvement in my workflow of making YouTube videos. I've been able to render a file while working on a notepad for what I'm going to put into the description. And then I'm still working on that notepad file. And by the time I'm done, YouTube is ready for me to put all the stuff in there. But basically, this has helped my workflow a ton. It's saving me days of work out of the month. It's insane. The CPU is definitely worth it.
I'm going to get this over here because his sounds are very distracting. My next benchmarks are going to be in a future video. That's going to be after I migrate Windows over to the NVMe SSD, and it should be quite a bit faster than this SSD. And I'll run all these tests again. Till then, I've been Robert Jene. Who have you been?
Weird taste noises, Charlie. Charlie McDonald, aka Elemental Plays.
He's been weird face noises. Charlie McDonald, aka Elemental Plays. Peace.
Hello.
Elemental Plays.